Beloved, as we journey through life, there comes a point where our most valuable currency is not money, time, or possessions. It is peace. The relationships we nurture or choose to let go of determine how much of that peace we can hold on to. Growing older is not just about collecting wisdom. It's about learning to protect our hearts and energy from the weight of unhealthy connections. Let's talk about the 5 kinds of people we must lovingly but firmly distance ourselves from in our later years. Let's take a closer look at someone many of us have encountered, the chronic criticizer. This is the person who seems to have a comment or judgment about everything you do, say, or even dream. Their words, though often disguised as helpful advice or just being honest, can leave lasting scars on your spirit if you're not careful. Criticism, when constructive, can help us grow, but chronic criticizers rarely have that intent. Their words are often a projection of their own insecurities, fears, or unresolved pain. Instead of seeing the good in others, they fixate on flaws and shortcomings, magnifying imperfections until they overshadow everything else. This isn't about you. It's about their need to feel superior or in control. And yet their relentless words can chip away at your self-esteem, leaving you doubting your worth. In old age, you've already walked the long road of life. You've overcome challenges, navigated complexities, and achieved milestones. The chronic criticizer, however, often overlooks these triumphs. Instead of celebrating your journey, they point out where you've stumbled or what you could have done differently. Their focus on your perceived flaws can make you question whether all you've done and all you've been is ever enough. Here's the truth. You are enough. You always were. But if you allow the chronic criticizer to have a constant voice in your life, you may forget this truth. Their presence can create an atmosphere of self-doubt, robbing you of the joy you deserve in your later years. And let me tell you, beloved, there is no greater tragedy than doubting your own worth after all the wisdom and resilience you've gained. One of the most insidious aspects of the chronic criticizer is how they position themselves as helpful. They might say, "I'm just trying to help you improve," or "I care about you, so I'm telling you the truth." But love does not destroy. Love builds. True care uplifts and encourages. Pay attention to how their words make you feel. Do they inspire you to grow, or do they make you shrink into yourself? In some cases, the chronic criticizer is someone we love deeply, a family member, a lifelong friend, or even a partner. That makes it even harder to create boundaries. But here's a critical lesson. Loving someone doesn't mean tolerating behavior that harms you. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They're bridges that show others how to walk toward you respectfully. It's okay to say, "I hear your feedback, but I need kindness and encouragement to thrive." Distance may be necessary if the chronic criticizer refuses to respect your boundaries. This doesn't mean cutting them out of your life entirely. It might mean limiting your time with them or shifting conversations away from personal topics. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It's an act of self-preservation. And when you choose peace, you create space for the relationships that truly nourish you. Beloved, remember this. Your life is your own masterpiece. It is painted with moments of triumph, resilience, and beauty that no critic can take away. Do not hand the brush to someone who only sees the flaws in your canvas. You have the power to surround yourself with people who appreciate your art and encourage you to keep creating. Let go of the chronic criticizer and reclaim the joy and self-assurance that are rightfully yours. Beloved, let's take a deep breath and speak about a presence that can subtly yet powerfully diminish the peace we hold so dear in our later years, the emotional drainer. These are the people who, knowingly or unknowingly, siphon your energy with their endless demands, negative emotions, or constant need for attention and validation. They leave you feeling depleted instead of nourished. And over time, this can weigh heavily on your spirit. Emotional drainers often carry an air of helplessness or drama. Their lives are an ongoing saga of challenges, crises, or complaints, and they look to others to shoulder the emotional weight of their burdens. While it's natural to want to help, especially when the person is someone you care about, the relationship can become unbalanced. The emotional drainer rarely gives back what they take, leaving you emotionally exhausted and at times resentful. In old age, your emotional energy becomes a precious resource. Unlike your younger years, when you may have had the stamina to take on others' emotional baggage, now is the time to prioritize yourself. You've earned the right to peace and joy. When an emotional drainer constantly pulls you into their orbit, they rob you of the emotional space you need to reflect, rest, and enjoy the fruits of your life's labor. The tricky part about recognizing emotional drainers is that their behavior often isn't malicious. They may not even realize the toll they take on you. Some might genuinely need support, but others have grown accustomed to leaning on others without considering the impact. Either way, the result is the same. You feel drained, and your energy becomes a casualty of their struggles. Setting boundaries with emotional drainers can be a challenge, especially if they are close friends or family members. But boundaries are not about rejection. They are about protection, protection of your time, energy, and emotional well-being. It's okay to say, I care about you deeply, but I can't always be your emotional anchor. This is not a betrayal of love. It's an affirmation of your own needs. Sometimes guilt can creep in when you begin to distance yourself from an emotional drainer. But beloved, let me remind you, guilt is not a compass for what's right. Just because someone asks for your time or emotional labor doesn't mean you are obligated to give it. Loving someone doesn't mean sacrificing your well-being. You can care for them while still protecting yourself. It's also important to evaluate the balance in your relationships. Ask yourself, do they listen as much as they talk? Do they support you as much as you support them? If the answer is consistently no, it's time to recalibrate the dynamic. Surround yourself with people who pour into you as much as you pour into them. That reciprocity is the foundation of healthy, fulfilling relationships. Beloved, your energy is sacred. Emotional drainers will always exist, but you have the power to decide how much access they have to your heart and mind. Protecting your energy is an act of self-love, and it creates space for the relationships that truly enrich your life. As you grow older, let your days be filled with lightness, laughter, and connection that lifts you higher, not the weight of others' unresolved pain. Beloved, let us talk about the consistent complainer. The person who always has a grievance, always sees the glass as half empty, and always seems to bring a storm cloud to even the brightest of days. While life certainly has its challenges, the consistent complainer has an uncanny ability to find problems in every situation and negativity in every corner of life. Their endless cycle of dissatisfaction can be exhausting, especially in your later years when you deserve peace and joy. At first, you may feel sympathy for the complainer. After all, they might have legitimate reasons for their frustration. But over time, you begin to notice that their complaints are not isolated to one event or situation. They are constant. Whether it's the weather, the state of the world, family dynamics, or even minor inconveniences, they find something to criticize. It becomes clear that their complaints are not about resolving issues, but about perpetuating a narrative of negativity. The problem with spending time with a consistent complainer is that their attitude can be contagious. Their persistent focus on what's wrong has a way of seeping into your mindset, making it harder for you to see the beauty and blessings in your own life. Even if you start the day feeling lighthearted and optimistic, prolonged exposure to their negativity can leave you feeling drained, anxious, or even irritable. In your golden years, you've earned the right to focus on what truly matters: the moments of joy, the small victories, and the relationships that uplift your spirit. The consistent complainer, however, will often pull your attention away from these treasures, steering conversations toward everything that's wrong with the world. This distraction from gratitude and contentment is a heavy cost to pay for their company. It's important to remember that complainers are often stuck in their own struggles. They may feel powerless or unheard, and complaining becomes their way of coping with life's challenges. But while their struggles deserve compassion, it does not mean you are obligated to be their sounding board day after day. Your emotional capacity is finite, and it's okay to prioritize your own peace over someone else's negativity. Setting boundaries with a consistent complainer is essential. You might find that gently redirecting the conversation toward more positive or solution-oriented topics can help. For example, if they're complaining about the weather, you could say, "It's not ideal, but I'm grateful we have this time to chat indoors." However, if they resist these redirections and continue to dwell on negativity, it's a sign that a more firm boundary might be necessary. Creating distance from a consistent complainer can be difficult, especially if they're a family member or close friend. You might feel guilty or worry that you're abandoning them in their struggles. But beloved, there's a difference between supporting someone and allowing their negativity to consume your well-being. Loving someone does not mean absorbing all their complaints. It means showing up for them in ways that are healthy for both of you. Remember, beloved, that your time and energy are precious. You've weathered enough storms in life to know that the sun always returns, and you deserve to bask in its light without the shadow of constant negativity. By choosing to limit your exposure to consistent complainers, you open up space for relationships and experiences that nurture your joy, gratitude, and peace. In this season of life, protect your spirit fiercely. It is your most valuable treasure. Beloved, let us reflect on a type of person who can subtly erode your autonomy and sense of peace: the controlling manipulator. This is someone who seeks to dictate your choices, actions, and even thoughts under the guise of care or concern. Their influence can be subtle at first, but over time it becomes clear that their priority is control, not connection. Recognizing and addressing their behavior is essential, especially as you enter a stage of life where freedom and self-expression should be cherished. The controlling manipulator often disguises their control as love. They might say things like, "I'm only looking out for you," or "I just want what's best for you." While these words may seem caring, they often come with an undertone of judgment or disapproval if you don't follow their advice. Their love feels conditional, dependent on your compliance with their desires. True love, however, allows freedom and respects boundaries. It does not demand submission. One of the most insidious traits of the controlling manipulator is how they make you question your own judgment. They may undermine your confidence by suggesting that you're incapable of making good decisions on your own. Phrases like, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" Or, "You've always been too impulsive," chip away at your self-assurance. Over time, you may start second-guessing yourself, leaning on their guidance more than your own intuition. In old age, your independence is a precious gift. You've spent a lifetime learning, growing, and navigating the complexities of life. The controlling manipulator, however, may try to diminish this by positioning themselves as the expert in your life, claiming to know what's best for you. Whether it's decisions about your health, finances, or personal choices, their need for control can feel suffocating and invalidating. Setting boundaries with a controlling manipulator can be challenging, especially if they are a close family member or friend. They may resist your attempts to assert independence, accusing you of being ungrateful or unappreciative of their help. This is often a tactic to maintain their influence, but it's important to remember that their discomfort with your boundaries does not mean you are doing something wrong. Boundaries are not acts of defiance. They are acts of self-respect. One way to manage a controlling manipulator is to establish clear and firm communication. When they try to dictate your choices, calmly but assertively say, I appreciate your concern, but this is a decision I need to make for myself. Reclaiming your autonomy may feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to deferring to them, but each step you take toward independence strengthens your sense of self. It's also essential to surround yourself with people who celebrate your autonomy rather than challenge it. Seek relationships that empower you, where your thoughts and decisions are respected. The presence of these supportive individuals can act as a buffer against the influence of a controlling manipulator, reminding you that you are capable, wise, and deserving of freedom in your choices. It's also vital to seek out dream champions, those people who encourage and support you without reservation. These are the friends, mentors, or loved ones who listen with enthusiasm, offer help when needed, and celebrate your courage to dream. Their presence can drown out the voices of the dream dismissers, reminding you that your aspirations are valid and worth pursuing. Beloved, your later years are not a time to be controlled or manipulated. They are a time to live fully and authentically. You have earned the right to make your own decisions, to prioritize your own well-being, and to surround yourself with people who respect and honor your autonomy. Let go of the need to please or appease those who seek control, and embrace the freedom and peace that come with living life on your terms. This is your time to flourish, and don't let anyone take that away from you. Beloved, let us take a moment to talk about the dream dismissers, those individuals who downplay, ridicule, or outright dismiss the dreams and aspirations that light up your heart. These are the people who make you feel that your ideas, hopes, and goals are either impractical, unimportant, or unattainable. Their words may seem harmless at first, but over time they can erode your confidence and dim the spark of possibility within you. The dream dismissers often cloak their negativity in practicality. They might say things like, that's not realistic at your age, or what's the point now? They position themselves as realists, but what they fail to understand is that dreams are not about practicality. They are about passion, purpose, and fulfillment. Dreams are the lifeblood of our spirit, and no matter our age, they keep us engaged with life and open to growth. In old age, dreaming is an act of courage. It's a way of declaring that your story isn't finished, that there are still chapters to write and adventures to embark on. Yet dream dismissers may try to convince you that the best parts of your life are behind you. They fail to see that every stage of life brings its own opportunities for creativity, exploration, and joy. Their lack of vision does not need to define yours. The words of dream dismissers can feel especially heavy when they come from loved ones, family members, friends, or even a partner. You may find yourself hesitating to share your aspirations for fear of being met with skepticism or indifference. But beloved, your dreams are sacred. They do not need to be validated by others to be worthy of pursuit. You deserve to surround yourself with people who fan the flames of your aspirations, not extinguish them. What's important to understand about dream dismissers is that their dismissal often stems from their own fears and limitations. Perhaps they gave up on their own dreams long ago and now project that disappointment onto others. Or maybe they are afraid of change and feel threatened by the possibility of you stepping into something new. Whatever the reason, their dismissal says more about them than it does about the value of your dreams. To protect your dreams from dismissal, cultivate a mindset of resilience and self-belief. When someone dismisses your aspirations, remind yourself of why they matter to you. Hold on to the vision of what your dream could bring to your life: joy, purpose, or simply the satisfaction of trying something new. Your dreams are a reflection of your innermost desires, and they deserve your unwavering commitment. Beloved, no matter your age, you are worthy of dreaming. Your dreams are not just about achieving something, they are about staying connected to what makes you feel alive. Whether your dream is to learn a new skill, travel to a place you've always wanted to see, or simply embrace a more joyful way of living, know that it is never too late. Let the dream dismissers watch from the sidelines as you boldly chase the life that calls to you. This is your time to dream unapologetically and to live those dreams with all the passion and purpose your heart can hold.